Hey everybody, it's me Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com with today's Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 378. And Happy New Year to you all. By the time you are seeing this, it is January 2nd, 2021, and a whole new year to be excited about and look forward to and hope for blessings and joyful occasions. We're going to start this year with the most positive attitude we possibly can, right? Right. Okay, so what do I have for you today? Well, we ended 2020 with a flash sale and we're starting 2021 with a flash sale. That means we won't have another flash sale for a few months. This will be it for a while. But I have a flash sale from Stampendous that's just wonderful. And then I have a stamp set that I really think you should own. I don't say that very often, I really don't. But if you do any kind of inking, if you have any kind of markers or inks or alcohol inks or pens, then I have a stamp set that I really do think you should own. And being that it's the start of the new year, there's no better time for this stamp set, let me tell you. So we're gonna play around today. I'm gonna play with a couple different surfaces and different inks and kind of help you maybe get inspired to get, wait for it, organized. I know, did I just say that? Organized. Don't turn me off, it's okay. You can still hang tight even if you don't want to get organized. I think you're gonna like what I have to show you. At the very least, you'll learn a little bit about inks and surfaces, that's for sure. Now I have winter chicken dinner to talk about, and last week we didn't have any power, so I wasn't able to pull winter chicken dinners for last week, so I have two sets of winners, and all four of you have won a $25 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple that should be in your account right now for you to spend. We're going to continue with the $25 gift cards for as long as, I guess, I don't know, maybe indefinitely. And please remember, our retail store is still closed. I don't anticipate the retail store opening. Well, I thought it would be January, but if you are anywhere near the state of California and you know what is happening here, so I don't see our retail store opening anytime soon. That doesn't mean that we don't offer curbside delivery, because we do, and you can absolutely send us an email with your order. You just have to let us know what it is you want to curbside@scrapbookingmadesimple.com. You can just make a list on your email of exactly what items you want with your telephone number, and as long as it is in this week's YouTube class or any week's YouTube class, we are able to pull those items for you and call you up and let you know when they will be available to pick up. So we're going to continue with our curbside pickup for as long as necessary, and we appreciate everybody's understanding that it does have to be limited to what is in the YouTube class. Now, I was going to tell you about my mom, but well, I'm going to have to hold off on that one a little bit longer. I had a whole thing about my mom, but maybe next week. Unfortunately, this week what happened is that Mr. SMS fell. He fell in the bathroom and he fell hard. It has not been the most woohoo week, let me tell you. There's no wahoo kachoo coming that was this week, but he is okay. He is sore and bruised and banged up, and right now needs to use a walker to get around, but he's doing better. The first few days after his fall was hard because it really took him back to last year this time with the stroke and not being able to get around, having to be dependent upon everybody for everything. So the first day or two was miserable for him. He felt so defeated. But as things do, he started to heal, and slowly but surely he's feeling a little bit better. And I think maybe another 2 weeks and I think we'll be able to get him up and around and walking like he used to. I told him this is his way of getting out of going on that exercise bicycle and the treadmill. I said, this is his way of getting out of physical therapy, really? So I just wanted to let everybody know he is doing okay. He will be fine. He hit his head really hard, actually, and I was most concerned about a concussion more than anything else, but that didn't happen. Thank you. And now we just need to get him all the bumps and the bruises gone and some strength back and get him off the walker and hopefully back to himself again. So my boys are home with him right now, and I am going to get done with this YouTube and then get right back home to him as well. The store is closed. It is New Year's Eve. Happy 2021 to all of you. I have got winner chicken dinner to announce, and then we're going to get started. And remember, even if you don't stamp, you may learn something from this YouTube about inks and papers. And if you do stamp, well, I love the flash sale, and it's fabulous from Stampendous. It really is. And we have some really great stamps from Inky Antics. There really is one stamp that I think every crafter should own if they have any kind of inks or mousses or gels or whatever you play with. It's a good stamp. I really like it. So, okay. So let's do winner chicken dinner first, all right? I have 4 of you. Are you ready? Our first winner, which was from YouTube 376, is Granny Childs. Hello, Granny. You have just won a $25 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple. Is that you? Are you wahoo kachooing? Are you getting ready to do the winner chicken dinner dance? Are you? Our second winner from that same YouTube 376 is Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie Anderson. How are you doing, my dear? Are you jumping up and down? Are you pausing the YouTube and then playing it back and then pausing it and then playing it back? Did you call everybody into the room to do a winner chicken dinner dance with you? You should. But I have 2 more that were from last week's YouTube, number 377. Our first winner is, and I know this name, she posts all the time on YouTube, Peggy Davis. Hello, Peggy. How are you doing? I see your comments all the time. Wahoo kachoo for you, dear. I'm so excited for you. And then we have, another name I know, Roberta Cruz. Hello, Roberta. How are you? Holy smokes, artichokes. You're a $25 gift card winner. Woohoo! Okay, so I have Roberta Cruz. I have Peggy Davis. I have Bonnie Anderson. And I have Granny Childs. I love Granny Childs. That's awesome. People always ask, well, do you have to have your real name as your user ID on YouTube to win? No. As long as we can figure out who you are in our website. So we must have figured out who Granny Childs is. And if we haven't, then she'll have to send us an email letting us know that she's got an online account. But normally we try to figure out who you are, so we apply the $25 correctly. Can you be an international winner? Yes! Of course you can. If we can ship it to you, well, then you can win it. And since it's a gift card, gosh, that covers shipping for some of you, and then it's free shipping and go have fun. So, okay, also what I want, well, we have to do a winner chicken dinner dance. Okay, so let's do that. Are you ready? You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, kachoo for you. Happy New Year's to all 4 of you. I hope you enjoy your prizes. Whatever it is you spend that money on, make your heart happy. Now, one other thing I need to tell you about before we get started for today. In order for us to get caught up, because we are going to remain closed for a while longer, in order for us to get caught up, I have 2 YouTubes being pulled simultaneously. And we're trying to get caught up. We truly are. So I have made the decision to go ahead and starting this YouTube, I'm going to pull one team off and have one team working current YouTube and one team working on past YouTubes. The idea is that the one team working on current YouTubes will keep us current, And the team working on past YouTubes will eventually catch up. And once they're caught up, then we'll be current from there on out. With all that is going on, it is the only way I can even come close to figuring out a way, because we have to, we're limited as to employees, we're limited as to everything. And so that is what we're going to do, which means that this YouTube is going to bill it's going to bill normally. So if you're a pay later, you're going to see an invoice for this sometime next week, and you've got 3 days to pay that invoice. And if you're a pay now, you don't have to worry about it. And then we're going to send it up to go to shipping. That also means that the next several YouTubes that we are doing, the manufacturers have the product here already. We've got it here waiting for the YouTube to come. I don't have to wait for them to ship us anything. And that way, when it comes time for that YouTube, we're good to go. So that was really important to me. Keep in mind, we have 2 teams working. One will be working on older YouTubes to get caught up, and one is going to be starting with current YouTubes and going forward, so that once that team gets caught up to this YouTube, we will be caught up in total, and then we'll be shifting. Then everybody can go just work on current YouTubes. Also, the Shop That Didn't Hop sale, or the warehouse sale, we're just waiting on one more pallet from Ellison. That's all we're waiting on. Once that is here, we will start billing pay laters, and we'll be taking those orders 200 at a time. So the first 200 orders will probably start, pay laters will probably start going out in about a week and a half. I expect that product to be here soon, and that we will get it unloaded and we will start. So if you're a pay now, you have nothing to worry about, nothing to wait for. I will announce once we have started. But the first 200 orders, whether it be pay nows or pay laters, those first 200 orders will be the first to go up. So if you placed your order super fast on opening day, you may be seeing your pay later order invoice come through. Okay, just keep an eye out for it. It's going to be coming soon, maybe within the next week and a half or so. All right, I think that's all my announcements. That was a lot. And I didn't even have like a cheat sheet to remind me. Ooh, okay. So we're going to get started. I'm going to tilt down for today. Happy New Year to all of you, and blessings to all of you, and all the best things that can possibly happen, I hope happen for you in 2021. We're going to make it a great year. Whether 2021 wants to be a great year or not, we're just going to make it happen. Works for me. Okay, I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started. It's good to see all of you. Down we go. Okay, so let me zoom on in. Let me straighten out just a little bit and zoom on in. I know, very high tech. It is what it is. Okay, so how cute is this? It really doesn't have much to do at all with today's YouTube class, except for the background. The background was done with one of the Stampendous Flash Sale items, and I will show you those eventually. But there are 6 stamps that are part of that flash sale, and then she's part of the YouTube and the sayings. Yes, I love the saying on this. Can you see it? I think it was Queen of the Glitter People. And then down below, I have felt the burn of the heat of the glue gun, and I have still come out victorious. Can you read that? I don't know if I can zoom it in. Is that the cutest ever? That's a stamp set. It doesn't come with her. I'll show you sayings. And then here is another one of the Stampendous Flash Sale stamps. Isn't that so pretty? So, I think I will show you those super fast, really quick, just so you see them. So we're selling it as a bundle or open stock. It's whatever makes your heart happy. They're 6x6 cling, so they're rubber stamps. I have 6 different sets. I have here, which is kind of a beautiful, like a Moroccan tile. That was very good of me. And the clocks. And the grunge background. You'll see beautiful samples. We have beautiful samples made with these backgrounds. And this one, this is the Paris, which was here. Did we cut? Oh yeah, they fussy cut that little Eiffel Tower out. Good for them. Who did that? I wonder if Claire or Doris did that, but they fussy cut that Eiffel Tower out. But there's the background, all the map behind it. And then I've got the floor, and I've got the big daisy. So all of these are on sale. And included with the I Want It All bundle is the 6x6 block. If you get the bundle, it's, I believe, $96, something like that, for $34.99. So $96 worth of product for $34.99. Or if you just like the block, it retails for $7. It's on sale for $4. If you just like one of the stamps, they are also on sale. Not at such a deep discount, but they are also on sale. See, this background was done for that card. So pretty. Okay, so that's the Stampendous Flash Sale. I did want to show you that. But what we're going to be working with today, and the stamp that I think everybody should have, is this one. It's by Inky Antics, and it is a swatch card stamp set. So we have this stamp, and I'm going to be playing with this on different types of papers with different types of inks to show you how to get yourself organized. Now there are 3 other stamp sets that I've paired with it. If you wanted the bundle, you can just buy this stamp set and be done. Absolutely. You may already have something like this stamp set and forgot that you own it, and this is a good reminder to get it out. But I also have these 3 that I've paired with it. And the reason I paired these 3 with it is because I just thought they were hilarious. I love this one. So this one is Queen, it says, Queen of the Glitter People, runs with scissors, crafty ninja, never underestimate a girl with paint on her hands. Hello, my little artist, craft skill level, expert plus, washi whisperer, future legend. I have felt the burn of the glue gun and I have still come out victorious. I think we can all relate to that one. Magical maven of paint and ink, wearer of the artsy pants. How cute is that set, right? Love it. But then I saw this one, and this one says Smarty Pants, one smart cookie, brilliant since birth, genius squared, clever girl, knower of all things. You're remarkably lovely, extraordinary, and smart enough to take over the world. Love that set too. Love it. And then the last one that I had to have just made me laugh. It says, you're cooler than me. I like that. And then there's all of these things you can check off. If you need me, I'm here for you. With a dartboard and his picture, that's the first one. With confetti and my happy dance. With a credit card and no judgment. With orange juice and extra soft tissues. With super cute shoes you can borrow. With a game plan and a getaway car. With all of the above. Look at, isn't that so cute? So you check off the one that works for you for the card. And then we have, you can rock a pair of skinny jeans like no one else I know. Go on with your big, bad, beautiful self. Show the world what you've got. And you're my favorite person in the history of ever. Aren't they? These are just fabulous. So we have these open stock too, but I did pair them with this one if you wanted the I Want It All, just so you know. I am in love with these, but I digress. Let's get back to what we're supposed to be talking about, which is this stamp set here. And the sentiments on this one is, this soul runs on paint, and I am a nuclear physicist, and it's crossed out. A perfect size 0, and it's crossed out. The coolest mom ever, and it's crossed out. Happy to be the crazy art lady with paint smeared in her hair. Love this. Okay, what am I gonna do with this? Well, I'm gonna play with it and make some swatch cards because I think we all own, oh, I don't know, ink and paint and markers and pencils. And yet, do we actually know what colors we have? So when we want to do something, we can just go and look at our swatch cards and say, oh yeah, that's the exact color I'm looking for. Have you ever grabbed a marker or an ink and thinking it was the color you wanted it to be, put it onto your project and found out, yeah, no, it isn't exactly the color you were hoping for? Hello, been there, done that. So I'm gonna play with these, and I'm gonna be using both, well, I'm gonna be using Vellum. Let me move this out of the way. I'm gonna be using white paper, just white 100 pounds simply defined cardstock. I'm gonna play with black paper, and then I'm gonna play with some watercolor paper. Now, a couple YouTubes ago, I told you about a watercolor paper that was kind of inexpensive and would work great for a future YouTube. This is that YouTube. This is a watercolor, they're watercolor postcards. We're not gonna use them for the postcards, but it's a great watercolor paper for what I wanted to do. So this is what we're gonna start with in a whole bunch of different mediums. Whole bunch of different colors and inks and paints. And I think the first place I'm going to start is maybe easy peasy. What if we started with the easiest thing? Let me take a piece of white paper and let me just chop it in half so it's a little easier for me. And I am going to grab my swatch stamps. These are made by Arc on Wild and Friends. The brand is Inky Antics, and they're thick and they hold up beautifully. And to start with, I'm gonna use the 3-dot ones. So let me put this onto a clear block, and I think I can use one of my smaller ones. These are the Couture Creations clear blocks. They used to be the Do Crafts clear blocks, but now Couture Creations is doing them as well. And since we can't get them from Do Crafts anymore, we brought them in. You get the whole set for $12.50. An amazing value, truly an amazing value. I was so happy when Ozzy Andrew brought them in. I've got my gush pad. What's a gush pad? It's meant for stamping. So if you are stamping on a hard surface and you're getting holes, it's quite possible that you're not getting a good pressure all over. And because the stamp doesn't have anything to sink into, it's not making the best contact with your paper. But if you put it on a gush pad, and I don't know if we have any in stock or not, these are my gush pads. It's actually this big as the size of the gush pad. We've just cut it in half, and they're $1.99. You're not gonna use a mouse pad. Doris also makes a really nice stamp pad, and it's very inexpensive. This is a certain density of foam that allows it to stand up to pushing and pushing and pushing, but has enough gush so that you get a good stamped image, but you don't turn it to mush. Because if you stamp too hard, the stamp is going to spread and become a little blurry. So I'm gonna take my India ink. Now, India ink is a dye-based ink. It is from Hero Arts. It will stain your stamp, but it also does not move with water. And that's really important to me today because I've got watercolor pencils, I've got Tombow markers, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to play with. I've got FineTec to play with. So I need an ink that is not going to smear with water, and Memento ink will work, and Hero Arts India ink will work. So I'm using the India ink, and again, my stamp is no longer going to be crystal clear, and I'm okay with that. It will stain it, but does that mean that if I stamp it with red at a later date, it's going to be black? No. Once you wipe it off and it wipes clean, you don't have to worry about what color's on it. The reason why I like using this ink is because I actually like my stamp to be stained. It allows me to see the image. So let's ink it up real good. This is a new stamp, hasn't been stamped before. So let's see what we get for a first go round. So now I can clearly see what's on my stamp. And I like that, and it will stay that way. It will stay stained. And again, I'm okay with that. If you are not, then you want to take a solvent cleaner to clean it off, but you need to be quick and gentle. Solvent cleaners will can be harmful to a clear stamp. So I'm going to give a good press down. I'm going to go ABC, 1, 2, 3. I am not doing chest compressions. Chest compressions are not going to help you. I just want to make sure I have good all over pressure. And that's what that Gush mat helps with. It gives you that good all over pressure, and it allows the stamp to sink into the paper and make better contact. Ready? Oh, good. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's just get a couple of them on here. I don't know that I'll need a couple of them, but you never know, right? So I'll just do one more because I'm right here. So 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. Oh, good. Okay. Works for me. And then again, my stamp will be forever, it'll be forever stained black. I'm okay with that. I can now see what I'm working with. Can I clean it off? Yes. What do I use? Just a basic baby wipe, assuming that you can get them still. It's going to take whatever excess residue of black off, and now I can ink it with any color and it will stamp that color true. You don't have to worry about the black being mixed in. That will not happen. Now, what's nice about these color swatch stamps? Well, you've got 3 little dots, 1, 2, 3, and there's lots of things you can fill those dots in with. I thought the simplest thing to do would be, how about my Memento inks? So maybe you have got all the Dewdrop inks, or you've got a bunch of Memento inks, and you want to color family them together. I've grabbed the 3 reds from Memento. I have got Love Letter, I've got Ladybug, and I've got Rhubarb Stalk. So these are the 3 reds that Memento make. And yes, they come in full-size pads, and they come in re-inkers, and they come in the little, the markers. Absolutely. But I like my Dewdrops just because it allows me to have lots of color without having spent a lot of money. Maybe Rhubarb Stalk is a color that I want to use every now and then. So I don't necessarily want a full-size pad. I don't want to spend the $6 or $6.50 to get a full-size pad. I'm happy with spending a little over $2 to get a smaller one, because I can always re-ink it. Absolutely. It's a felt pad on the top. I can always re-ink it, and it saves space and it saves money. But are the colors true? Well, best way to do it is to, let's grab our color. Ink up a little finger dauber really good. And give a good press. Now you don't have to use a finger dauber. You can use whatever you want. But there's one color. That's my Love Letter. Now am I going to change my finger dauber? No. I'm going to just wipe it off. Get that red, and move to my next color. So my finger daubers are per color family, not per color. Okay, now let's go to Ladybug. And let's get Ladybug on there. And then, there we go. And I can wipe my Ladybug off and come over to my Rhubarb Stalk. And so now you can clearly see the 3 colors. No guesswork. So when you want to go stamp, and you want to use your Memento inks, and you want a red, you pull it out. Let's see, let me grab a pen. And I can put product. I'm just going to put Memento ink or I can put, my first one was it Ladybug or Love Letter? Oh man, I think it was Love Letter, then Ladybug, then Rhubarb. And my brand is Memento. Gosh, you have room for color down there too. So you've got plenty of room to place what you want to put on it, and then you can just trim it on out. You can make a little folio for them. You can poke a little hole in there, punch a little hole in there, and use a ring to hold them all together. But bam! So think about the Memento colors that you have or the other inks that you have. Do you have all of Lawn Fawn? Wouldn't it be nice to have a color swatch of all your Lawn Fawn or all your Mementos or all your Stampin' Ups or all, who do you own? Or maybe you own 3 of this one and 2 of that one and 4 of this one and some Tim Holtz, and gosh, that's even more reason to go ahead and make yourself swatch cards so that you can see the difference between the inks. Absolutely see the difference between the inks. Now this is just on standard 100-pound cardstock because Memento is a dye-based ink, and maybe that's what you want to add down there. Maybe you want to put that this is a, ooh, I don't want to do that, that's a brush tip. Maybe you want to add dye-based ink. Maybe you want to put a note on the back of them. Not good for watercolor, or great for Copics because they don't move with a Copic. And you can make all your notes on the back so that when you're going through trying to find the right color and you have some of Tim's and some of Stampin' Ups and some Mementos, you're not guessing, is that really the color? Now you'll know. But they included on that stamp set, I might come back to this one, I don't know. Since there's no script, we go with what we go with. So they included one that has more of a bar to it, more of an open rectangle. And I like this one very much because it gives you the opportunity to kind of blend color out so you can see where it starts and where it ends. Now, let's say we take, let's just take 100-pound cardstock again and India ink again, and let's ink it up. Oh, you know, before I go there, this one, you know what I should do with this one? I'm going to go back to this. Why? Because we pulled out ombres. In fact, I'm going to stamp that one more time. Ooh, hold on a moment. Holy smokes, artichokes. Yeah. The girls have ombres on my table. You're like, what's an ombre? Well, it's an ink from Hero Arts. We love ombre inks. We do. So I'm going to ink this one back up and I'm going to stamp it. I'll stamp it twice so it's on the same. Ink. And then stamp and up. Oh, I missed my corner, but I'm okay. Ink. This time I'll make sure I get my corner inked. And stamp. 1, 2, 3, ABC, all over pressure and up. Good, okay. So, ombre inks. I did the Memento. There's a color family together. But what if we had, I better put this one right back on before I lose it. I'm going to have ink all over my hands, but then one of those stamps will be good for me, right? Okay, so ombre inks are inks from Hero Arts, where you have 3 colors in one pad. The idea of an ombre ink is that you don't have to do any blending. You ink up your stamp going all up and down, or cross and cross and cross, and it adds an ombre look to your stamped image without doing any kind of a blending to it, which is really nice. But if you look at this color and you look at this color, you may think to yourself, is the same purple they show here one of the purples they show here? Because you don't want to buy duplicates, right? I mean, we do. We all do. Trust me, we do. I do. It's like I see something and I order it for the shopper online because I love it so much. And then 2 weeks later, I see it again and I order it again because I love it so much. And then it comes in twice and I'm being looked at like, what was your plan here? Plan is I liked it. Okay, so is this purple the same as this? Well, these little cards are going to help you know that. So if I open it, and, ooh, that one's really pink. Okay, well, let's just go. So, 1, and then I'm gonna brush it off. And then my center ink, 2, and then I'm gonna brush it off. And I'm actually gonna save this one. And I'm gonna use a different one for that purple because I can use it for my other purples. And my last color, 3. Ooh. Okay, let's give it a whirl. Ready? A little light, but that's okay. Okay, my 3 colors in my ombre neon. Well, I don't think they're necessarily neon. I don't know that I would call those neon. I think they're lovely colors, but there they are. Now let's take this one. And I'm gonna dust that one off. And I've got 3 colors here. And let's go. And 1. And brush it off. And then I'm gonna go into my next one. I hope that truck stopped on time. That was a lot of squeaky brakes. I don't know if you guys heard that. 2. Oh, very dark. And brush that one off. And then the very last one. 3. Ooh, eggplant. Okay, so I don't know that you would necessarily get those 3 colors looking at this ink pad. Now you can clearly see what you have in those 3 ink pads. And these are all meant to work together so that you ink something up with all 3 of them and you can see the ombre that it's gonna give you. But, like I said, look at the top here and the top there. It kind of looks like the same color. You might think you're getting 2 of the same color, when in reality, no. Now those do look very bright compared to those. So, a really good use of your time and a simple stamp set. All you gotta do then is write whatever it is. So this is an ombre ink pad. It's by Hero Arts. And this one is red to purple. Red to purple. Whereas this one is an ombre ink pad. So ombre, and it's Hero Arts. And this one is light purple to grape purple. So light purple to grape purple. Now you know. Cut them out, put them on a ring, and now it's easy for you to find and see. So, like the little dotties, really great for your ombres and things like that. Really great for your, you could use them for your reactive inks or your oxide inks, and you could put little dots and then splatter different droplets of water on them, of like a fine mist to a splatter. So let me put these to the side, and let me bring back my rectangle and a new piece of paper. Let's get another piece of white paper and let's cut it in half. So I like the square one because it's got that wide rectangle for you to kind of move the color into. And when you're using watercolor pencils or colored pencils, it's a nice way to play. So if I were to take, and let's re-ink it. And maybe I can stamp it a few times. So 1, ABC, 1, 2, 3, and up. Oh, nice. And ABC, 1, 2, 3, and up. Nice. And do you think I can get one more in that bottom? I'll do it. Nope. All right, so we'll go to, let me stamp one more here. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. Okay. So this is great for when you're playing with your colored pencils or your watercolor pencils. And again, I am still on 100-pound paper. So let's just grab, my colored pencils. And I'm playing with the Bronzeal. These are a fine art colored pencil. Beautiful product. We get them in from Royal Talons. Just because it's fine art does not mean that you have to be a fine artist. I would say they are akin to a blue label from Faber-Castell. Not the green label, but definitely the blue label, kind of in between the green and the blue. The green from Faber would be the highest quality they have. They're probably a little bit, they're not as expensive as a prism. They work beautifully though, so it just depends upon where you want to spend your money. I think for what we do, they're a lovely pencil, and they have 12, 24, and 36 packs. So I'm gonna take it and let's play with maybe, ooh, I like this color. Oh, I'm so predictable. I must have used that color because, oh, there we go. So I'm just gonna color in. And this is just a colored pencil. And I'm going to do about half of that little box. Well, maybe 2/3. So if I do about 2/3 of that box, I'm then going to be able to take my Gamsol, which is also known as a mineral spirit. This is also from Inky Antics. We use Gamsol a lot. And Gamsol allows me to take this pencil and kind of melt the wax so that it looks not so cranny looking. But I'm not going to do that all the way over here. I'm going to leave some of that cranny looking just the way it is. So I know what that pencil looks like just if I use it as a pencil. I'm going to come in here more towards the center and melt some of that. So these are a paper stub. They come in the Gamsol kit. You can get paper stubs from a lot of places. The Gamsol, if you do not have the Inky Antics one that has the cute little top on it with the sponge, you definitely want to get something like a little cup that you can put your Gamsol in on top of a cotton ball so you can dip your stubby into it. Your stub, being that it is compressed paper, is going to absorb that Gamsol very, very, very quickly. So if I were to take my stub and put it into my Gamsol, you would see it go and it would turn color as it's absorbing it. The only problem is I can never get it out and I won't ever use the stuff that's way up high here. So you want to make sure that you have some kind of a little sponge at the top of your Gamsol, or that you put it into a cup with maybe a cotton ball and put a little Gamsol on the cotton ball so you can dip into it. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to melt some of this. And when I mean melt, I mean I'm just going to put that Gamsol right over the top of it. I know half of you have put this to mute because they don't like the way the Gamsol sounds when you melt it. And now you can kind of see a difference. You can see here where it's just the pencil. You can see here where it has smoothed out, but I left myself a little bit over here that I haven't smoothed out yet, because that's what I'm going to take and I'm going to pull out. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to pull it out. So I can see the gradient of it. So here, exactly like it came out of the pencil, nothing on it. Here, Gamsol to smooth it down, and then here, Gamsol to pull it out. So now you get the whole breadth of the color and what it can do. It's a wonderful way to spend an afternoon rediscovering what you have, your pencils and your markers and your crayons, all of those things. It's a wonderful way for you to rediscover what you have. So let's say I took and I'm going to sharpen this off just so I can get the blue off. And all this is a little sharpener that comes with the Gamsol. It's a bunch of sanding paper, and you just sand your stub until you've got it clean. And what if I came in here with this red and I did the same thing? So I just color, and you don't have to be beautiful and neat. You just need to get it in there. And again, I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way. Why am I not doing it in the little circle? Well, I think the little circles are kind of small for something like this, where you want to be able to see the ombre effect, the gradient color. You want to see what it can go to. So again, easy peasy. A little bit of Gamsol. I'm going to leave part of it just the way it came out of the pencil. And the other part I'm going to use with the Gamsol. So now you can see right out of the pencil, Gamsol, right out of the pencil, because I'm going to grab that and I'm going to pull it out. Just so you can see what it can be, right? It's nice to know what you have. And it's nice to reacquaint yourself with things you've purchased. And this is a great way of doing it. Now, will this be any different if I were to do it on watercolor paper? Well, let's see. Let's grab a piece and let's stamp. Watercolor paper, and this isn't the, I'm going to be honest, it's not the finest watercolor paper out there. I love the Van Gogh paper, but the Van Gogh paper for what we're doing is too nice. You don't need to spend that kind of money. Here, you just want to, you just want a nice watercolor paper. It's better than your average. It's not as nice as the Van Gogh, but it also doesn't cost as much, and it will allow you to do this easy peasy. And you can get 2 out of every card, because it's actually a postcard. So let's go color swatch at the top. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. And I didn't do such a good job that time. I don't think I inked it well. Okay, let's do a better job. One, two, three, A, B, C, and up. Better. Okay, so now I'm on watercolor paper as opposed to 100-pound paper. Let's take that red and let's see what we get. So, color, color, color. Well, I can already tell you it's smoother. So you may want to take your pencils and do them on regular cardstock that you own, and then do them on a watercolor so that you can see the difference between the two. You can already tell. Oh, it could be that I was on there. Let me see if I do it without being on the... It's still smoother. Definitely smoother. Okay, so I've got it down. Grab my Gamsol, and this is on watercolor paper. So I'm only going to smooth a portion of it. There you go. And then the other portion I'm going to pull. So I don't know if you want to do it on both watercolor pencil or watercolor paper and cardstock, because then you can go in there and you can write my trusty dusty pen. I can write that this is my my colored pencil. And the brand, and that it is on, I can write that this is on 100-pound cardstock. While this is on watercolor paper. Absolutely. Up to you. They look similar. I think this one's a little more red and this one's a little more pink. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. I think on the watercolor paper it comes out a little more red, and on the 100-pound cardstock it comes out a little more pink, but it was the same pencil. What if you are actually using watercolors? Okay. Let's pull out another sheet of paper. Ooh, I should put my red pencil away before I lose it. Hold on just a second. Put it right back in there. And let's pull out. This time I'm using actual watercolor pencils. And there is a difference. If yours just say color pencils and not water, then you need the Gamsol to work with it. If yours say watercolor pencils, you're going to use just water to work with them. So let me stamp up a few more. Oh, I can finish this one, stamp on this one. You're like, really? You didn't have all of these pre-stamped? Heavens no. What fun would that be? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Make sure I got my corners and I'm good. All right, so now I've got my watercolor pencils. Same company, and what I've learned is with watercolor pencils have kind of a silver band here, and the colored pencils have kind of a dark gray band at the top. So this one has kind of a dark gray at the top, where these have more of a silvery at the top, and that's how you can tell the difference because the colors are very, very similar. So let's take this one. Okay, sure, why not? This one. And this is a watercolor pencil on 100-pound cardstock. So what if I did the same thing and I colored in and this time I'm going to add water. Now the thing about a watercolored pencil is that you never put the pencil actually in water, ever. That's not how a watercolor pencil works. A watercolor pencil works when you color with it, and then by way of a paintbrush or a mister or something, you add water to it, and then it turns into a paint. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. And I'm not going to start at the very end. I'm going to start kind of in the middle. And then right away, I can see it turning into a paint. And all I'm going to do is take that color all the way to the end. So I can see the variation of color. So here is the pencil, right out of the pencil, no water added to it. But the minute I added water to it, you can see it turn into a paint, and then I just dragged it all the way out. So you can see how light of a color you can achieve with one pencil. That's it, one. So the swatches become really important. They become part of your arsenal, part of your go-to, because maybe you do need to match color. Maybe you are looking for something very specific. And this is the way for you to know before you put it down onto paper. So I'm gonna color, and again, I'm just scribbling. I'm not gonna be neat about it at all. And then I'm gonna leave a little bit of this in its natural form, just like I colored it in. I'm not gonna go and put water on the whole thing because I wanna remember what it looks like if I just put it on paper. And then I will go in and immediately take a little color off. And why am I doing this? Every time I do this, I take a little bit of color off, which allows the color to soften as I move it out. It lightens it every time I do it because I'm pulling color off. And you can see the gradation of your color. This is a really cool stamp set. It really is. But what if I put it on watercolor paper? Because this is a watercolor medium, watercolor pencils. They're going to work even better on watercolor paper. So let's ink up. I really need. And let's go color swatch. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. And ready? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. Good. So let's take my pink. Oh, and I don't remember what blue I used. Well, let's take my pink. I shouldn't have put my blue away. Maybe it was this one. Okay, well, let's just hold it to the side and see. And let me take my pink and I can do same thing. And then you can write all your notes that you used watercolor paper, that you used 100-pound paper, go about halfway. And the reason I'm only going halfway is because I'm going to draw that color out. If I colored the entire thing pink and then added my water, I have no place for it to get lighter. I need to leave that negative space so I can draw that color out so you can see the variation of colors. Paintbrush, a little bit of water. I'm going to leave part of it in its natural form. And then I'm going to go and I'm pulling that color so that I can get that look. Watercolor paper. It's up to you. I mean, if you have both and you want to see how your product is going to react on different papers, different textures, different surfaces, your swatch cards are the easiest way to do it, because maybe you want something. Your watercolor paper is always going to give you a softer, subtler look. You can build your color onto it, but it's always going to start a little softer and a little subtler than just your plain cardstock. I think I went far enough. And I'm just going to take it down. so you can see. Then I can write my product, my brand, my color if I want to, and the colors have numbers on them, so you can write the number. You can write that it's on watercolor paper versus 100-pound cardstock. Absolutely. But what if you're playing with markers? Now I will say with markers, oh, let's play with the blue. Let's say with markers, these are, okay, so these are my Tombow markers, and this is a set that we got in. We were offered a special deal on 6-packs. We had them, they retail for $16.99, and we were allowed to sell them off for $9.99 for all 6. I mean, 6 markers. We usually sell the markers for almost $3 each, right? So at $9.99, they were a smoking hot deal. I found out what went on with the markers. I'm going to tilt up really quickly. So, don't know if I knew this last time. I might have known this last time and then I forgot about it. Or maybe I forgot that I told you about it. But I know, I'm for sure now I know. And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, I couldn't understand why we could get these markers for such a really good price. I really couldn't. I was very skeptical, and I'm a very good fan and customer for Tombow. I love Tombow. I really do. I'm a big cheerleader for them. But I'm like, really? 6 markers, $9.99? Are you kidding me? So they said, no, quantities are very limited. And they were very limited. So I did them. I put them in the YouTube because we sell Tombows all the time anyway. And if you could get them for a great deal, and I could sell them to you for a great deal, well, wahoo kachoo. That's keeping crafting affordable. So the order finally landed like 3 days ago. Literally, the order for the original sets finally got here like 3 days ago. And I get into the store and they bring them in. UPS brings them in. And what's on the outside of those boxes? It doesn't say Tombow. It says Michaels. What? Yeah, Michaels. And then Tombow markers. And I'm like, huh. So I open them up because I'm worried that I got something I wasn't supposed to. And no, I got exactly what I was supposed to. But now I understand how we got them so inexpensively. They had done these for Michaels. They had put these sets together. They are their standard Tombow markers. Beautiful markers. But they had put these sets together specifically for Michaels. And then something must have happened. Michaels didn't take them. They didn't sell well. They changed their minds. They overproduced. Because a lot of times manufacturers will get an order in from Michaels, and it's a huge order. I mean, let's be clear. It's enormous. It's like, oh my gosh. Because you think if they have 1,000 stores and they're ordering all 6 sets and they have to have at least 6 of every set times 1,000 times. Okay, so big orders. So they maybe got out the original order, and then a manufacturer has to guess. They have to make a calculated guess. Do we place another order thinking that Michaels will place a reorder, or do we not? Because if Michaels places a reorder and the manufacturer hasn't already started processing that product and making that product, they will never meet Michaels' deadlines. Never. So a manufacturer takes a coin. I literally think they take a coin and they go ching, and heads they go ahead and place an order for more product. They manufacture more product without actually having a reorder in from a major. And that could be Hobby Lobby, it could be Michaels, it could be Joann's, it could be anybody. Blick, whatever. And so, because these are big companies, big. And so my guess is that they put a reorder in and Michaels didn't reorder them, and that's where these came from. Or they didn't sell well and Michaels sent them all back. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm surmising from this. So I really don't care. All I know is that they were able to get me another 100 sets of each. I have 6 sets, another 100 sets, and then we're done. Then they are gone. And So I said, sure, we'll take the another 100 sets. Go ahead and ship them to us. And I'm a happy girl. So I just wanted to let you know why that price is and where they came to be, and that they came in. Now the packaging doesn't say Michaels anywhere on them, but the outside boxes sure did. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy to take the leftovers. I am not a picky woman. I am not proud. If this is a way to get you this product for phenomenal prices, I am good with it. So let's play with Tombow markers. And just remember, the packs, they're $9.99. I've got 100 of each color left, and then they're gone. They retail for $16.99, and if you bought the markers open stock from us, you would pay, I think, $2.70 a marker. You do the math. Okay, so I'm gonna tilt on down again. Bye. I just don't like not looking at you when I talk to you. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. It makes me feel weird. We're friends. I need to look you in the eye. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my white paper and I'm gonna cut me. So here you have a couple options. I'm gonna stamp first with my, square one. And go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. That's good. Look, it stamps great now. I've worked out all the, instead of cleaning it, I was stamping with it before it was, when it was brand new. Sometimes you just need to stamp off 1, 2, 3, or clean it with some dishwashing detergent to get all the little residue off, and then it stamps beautifully every time. So I'm going to do 2 of those, and then I'm going to bring over and do 2 of the circles. You're like, well, why are you doing the circles? I'm going to show you. Again, I can hear you. You mean you didn't have these pre-stamped? No, because I never know exactly what I'm going to do until I do it. You can ask the SMS girls. They'll attest to that, because half the time they don't know what I'm going to do, and then I'll do something, and they're like, well, why didn't you tell us that before you did it? We would have liked to have known. And I said, well, watch the YouTube. I heard a collective groan from the SMS girls. Okay, so 2 and 2. So there's 6 markers in each pack. I'm gonna put these there. 6 markers in each pack, and there's 6 color families. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 color families and 6 markers. So the reason I did the little circles is because you can go in and just do your colors. So you would have 2 if you just wanted to just color. Just do a straight color. So you know exactly what these colors look like before you stamp with them. And it just takes 2 little swatch cards per set to make that happen. Because remember, Tombows are good for coloring on top of your stamps and then stamping with them. And for that, you want to see the straight color. You want to know what color you're getting. So the little circles are good for that. And each Tombow marker has a number, so you're able to put the number below it. I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble about that Michaels thing saying something, but better to ask forgiveness than permission. Okay, so I've got all 6 colors there now. And the little circles are great for that. Cut them out, build your little folio of all of the sets you have. Easy peasy, done. But what if I wanted to use them with water? Because remember, when you use a Tombow and you want to use water, or you want to blend them, you can't go straight to paper. Doesn't work. Tombows are not like a watercolor pencil. They don't look good when you go straight to paper. You have to do something called palette painting, which is putting a little color there, using either the blender, they have a blender brush, or your paint brush, adding in some water. And the more water you use, the lighter your color will be. So I want to go pretty dark to begin with. And then I'm just going to let that color graduate on out. So I can kind of see what kind of color I could get if I added water. So let's do this blue here, which is really pretty. I'm going to wipe up that blue. So this blue is this one right here. And let's go ahead and, Stacy, I can't do that. That's not gonna blend. No matter what I do, that's not gonna blend away. So I wanna use just a little bit of water to get the most color I can get. Just a little bit of water, that's all I used. And I'm gonna come in here and then I'm gonna start to paint. And then you can see the variation of color. That's why I like the long ones, because you can get that ombre look and you can see what you're doing. Now, is this going to behave the same? This is all Tombow. Tombow straight on paper because it won't blend. Tombow on paper doing palette painting. So I would make the notes. I would absolutely make the notes and say, okay, this one was Tombow palette painting. This one was Tombow straight to paper. Both 100-pound cardstock. But what if I were to use the watercolor paper? It makes a huge difference. It really does. Let's go ahead and ink this up. Makes a huge difference, Tombow, with watercolor paper. You wouldn't think. Go. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. And 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. Good, happy. Now remember, 100-pound cardstock. Basic paper, no movement. How about we put it on watercolor paper and see what we get? A little bit of water. Oh, big difference. On watercolor paper, it blends out just fine. I went straight to the paper. No palette painting here. No palette painting there. Remember, this one, those are the same color. Look at the difference. So sometimes it's worth doing one swatch on one color, on one type of paper, and then on a different type of paper so you can see how the ink reacts differently. And it does react differently. Absolutely. Let's grab that other blue. What blue did I use up there? Oh, let's use this one. Let's put my lid back on. One thing you need to know about Tombows, you need to hear it click. If you don't hear it click, it's not on. It may feel like it's on. It may feel like it, but you need to hear it click or it is not on. Your pens will dry out if you put the top on, but you do not click. You need that click. Okay, let's put this one on. Watercolor paper. Completely different thing with Tombow markers. And look at it move. And I'm going to pull it off. And I'm going to move it down. Little water goes a really long way. Well, I get some of that up. Okay. Big difference. Huge difference. Would you rather palette paint? Or would you rather put it on watercolor paper? This isn't expensive watercolor paper, but it does the job beautifully. With the Tombow markers, it does the job beautifully. And you can have them just the color all by themselves. So you could have 3 different swatch sets just for your Tombow markers. Well, actually, you can have more. Wait. Okay, so that's Tombows. But what if you want to do something on dark paper? Can you do something on dark paper? Yes, absolutely. Let's bring over some black paper and cut it in half. Let's use this one, only I'm going to use it with my Versamark. So I'm probably going to get black all over it, but that's okay. Versamark is an embossing medium. Let's go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and up. And let's do it again. I'll do, oh yeah, I got black all over it. Okay, no big deal. I got black all over my embossing pad, but I'm fine with it. Doesn't bother me at all. And the reason I got black is because I didn't clean my stamp in between. I stamped with my black ink and I didn't wipe it off, and then I went straight to my Versamark. But not going to cause me a problem at all. I'm a go, go, go girl. And then some white embossing powder. And where the medium is, where that Versamark is, you're going to see that it's holding on powder is holding on to that Versamark medium. Oh, and a good thumbprint. Who doesn't need a good thumbprint? Now see, I didn't get it all the way down here. So I'm just gonna go back in and dip into that powder and go back on top until it fills it in. Am I gonna care if it's perfect? No. I'm not making somebody their anniversary card for their 60th wedding anniversary. I'm just making swatch cards. So now this is a powder, and until I add heat to it, it's going to remain a powder. So I need to add a heat tool. I'm using the Sizzix heat tool, and this gun has 2 settings. So if you keep it on low, it's going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to work just fine. If you're more proficient with a cylinder type of heat tool, you can go right on high, and it's just gonna melt this into a solid. And I can see it actually turning from a powder into a solid. Okay, do you see how much brighter that is compared to that? So that's still powder. I haven't changed this one. But this one is, oh, and you can see the gloss on it, whereas this one has no gloss. This is now dry and ready for you to make your swatch out of. Let's go back and heat the top one. Okay, so now they're both, and how long does it take for it to dry? When it's cool. The minute your paper's cool, so is your embossing powder. So if you wanna do, if you've got things that are metallics or any type of a pigment-based paint or ink that you want to see how it's going to look on black, all you have to do is emboss right on top first, and then you're good to go. So I could take my, my FineTec. You guys got these. These are beautiful. These are watercolor metallic. They're just a little bit of happiness. Is that gonna pop in? Is it going the right way? Is that gonna pop in there? Oh, they're removable. You can take them in, you can take them out. These are a little bit of majestic happiness. They are not inexpensive. I will tell you flat out, they're a pricey little item, but they are beautiful. This is a fine art medium. Don't have to be a fine artist. All that means is the quality of the product you're working with is of such high caliber that the result you're gonna get is even better. The pigment in these is gorgeous, but you want to see what they're going to look like on black. You have this beautiful case, but what do the colors really look like when you put them on black? Well, let's get some water in here. I should have started these a little bit ago. So you need to put a little bit of water in there and let them sit for a second or two so that they can loosen, bloom. Because you never have to dry them. Ooh, Stacy, you never have to dry them out. The water will just evaporate. And there we go, better. The water will evaporate, so you never have to worry about drying them off. Just want to make sure I got enough water in them. Ooh, they're so pretty. Okay, so what if I start with this one? Oh, you don't care what gold looks like. You want to see the prettier colors, right? I start with this one. Look at how beautiful that color is. And then I can go in and I can paint that color. And I can even, like I was doing before, do a fade just by adding some more water to it and do an ombre. So you are able to see how the ink is if it's completely opaque, which would be on this side, and then if I lightened it up. Oh, but that color is just gorgeous. And you can make your swatch books with all of your pigments and your metallics, because not all golds are the same. Let's be clear, not all blacks are the same, not all greens are the same. Look at these colors. So these are FineTec. And we've just had these just for a very short time. And I have a whole new set, a 6-pack called, I think it's called Fairy Dust, coming. And oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And this is just on 100-pound paper. Look at that. So pull out your black. Do you have watercolor paper? They're going to react differently on black watercolor paper. So pretty. And I mean, some of the colors are just, clean that out better. Some of the colors are just kind of bizarre, but beautiful. They're like a two-tone. Where they're one color if you turn it one way and a different color if you turn it a different way. But now you can make all of your swatch books. Just use your embossing powder to stamp. Otherwise, I mean, you could use white ink if you wanted to use your Hero Arts Unicorn. Well, it might move with water. That's the thing. You've got to make sure whatever you're using doesn't move with water. And embossing powder, I am certain, will not move with water. Look at that. Look at this, one color this way and one color that way and one color this way. Oh, yum. These are FineTec. They're just scrumptious. But then what if you have vellum? Okay, I get you. I hear you. We've got vellum. I've actually got my super heavyweight vellum. Now this is a parchment vellum, and this is my Simply Defined vellum. This is not lightweight by any stretch of the imagination. I believe it is 90 pounds is what it's going out at. That is a super heavyweight vellum, which means it'll take water better. So vellum generally doesn't like water, and my vellum, if you add too much water, won't like it either. This is an A4 size, not an 8.5 by 11. It's a little bit longer and a little bit narrower. Whoa, Stacy. And if I put water, well, maybe I just missed it. Let's see if I missed it really good. So I misted it really good with some water. Vellum does not particularly care for moisture. Now mine is heavier than most, so it's going to be able to take water a little bit better than most. Yep, see, it's gonna curl. So let me wipe this up. And ink is hard to dry on vellum. So you're going to need to do very much the same thing. Let's bring over our stamp. You're going to want to use an embossing powder. Get our Versamark on our stamp. And go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And up. Ooh. And 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And up. Works for me. And this time, instead of white, I'll use black. I don't have to use white. You can use white, but I don't have to use white because I'm not on a dark paper. So, in fact, I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. And you're like, well, if you just said that vellum doesn't like water, why are you doing this? Well, what else have we used today? See, I got my fingerprint in there again. Okay, so now I have to use my heat tool to take that from a powder to a solid. And then once I've done that, I can do whatever I want to it. It's not going to move. I can't use an India ink or a Memento ink. It just won't dry on the vellum well. You can heat set. You can try, it still will smear if you add water, because we may add a little water to some of this. And I'm just going to Now a stays-on ink will dry on your vellum. It's an alcohol-based ink that will dry quickly. So a stays-on ink would work. But if I was doing a stays-on ink and then I wanted to make a swatch card of alcohol inks on my vellum, it wouldn't work because then you're mixing alcohol with alcohol. Now here we did our colored pencils. And just our colored pencils. And we did, let's grab a piece of white paper underneath so you can see. So I could do some of my colored pencil. And then remember, I played with Gamsol, because I'm not doing watercolor pencil. And I could take my Gamsol to it. And then I could take my Gamsol and pull out my color. So that you're able to see what your colored pencil would be able to do if you were on vellum. Sure, you can. Absolutely. I could take my Tombow marker and with the smallest bit of water, and I mean, I'm just like gonna mist myself, just a little bit of a mist right there. Just that's all I'm gonna do. Just a little bit of a mist. You can't even see it. There's a little bit of a mist right there. I can put my Tombow marker on my vellum. And then with the smallest bit of water, teeny tiny little itty bitty bit, I can go in and start to blend it out. Itty bitty tiny bit of water. I mean, the smallest nothing of a water to make that move. And will it dry? Yes, it will. We're dry. If I add water to it, it won't be. But if you wanted to work on vellum and have all of your colors to see what they will do on vellum, what a nice swatch book for vellum. Because you just never know what it's going to look like when you put it on vellum. And then, of course, you've got the backside of vellum, which is kind of like the backside of water, which gives you even a softer look to it. But you can mark. Okay, I used Tombow markers here. I used colored pencils here. You could use your watercolor pencils, but again, on vellum, the smallest little itty bitty teeny, and I mean teeny little bit of water. So here's some purple. And I mean a spritz. And that's it. Just a spritz on my, right here. And that will let me move it. And I'm gonna keep wiping it off so I can see the colors that I'm able to achieve. What inks you got? You've got Mementos. Do you have ombres? Do you have Stampin' Up? Do you have Tombows? You've got watercolor pencils. You've got colored pencils. What do you have? And what surfaces do you play on? Get them out and try. Get them out and look at the difference between just a Tombow marker straight out of the marker, a Tombow marker on 100-pound cardstock with water, and a Tombow marker on watercolor paper. Try. See. Make your swatch books. Wouldn't it be nice to know the inks in your Hero Arts ombres, what they actually look like before you use them? The inks from your Mementos. I saw this stamp, and I don't think it's a new stamp, but I was tooling around because that's what I do. I tool around on manufacturers' websites looking for the thing that I somehow missed. And I absolutely missed this stamp set, and I love it. I love it. I love the things that you can do with it. I love that it teaches you how to use your inks that you already have and what works well and what doesn't. And then you make the cutest little swatch books. We made oodles and oodles and oodles of swatch books. Here's the Memento. So here's some pinks, and here's some blues, and your pinks to purples, and your greens. Wouldn't it be nice just to have this handy so you know what your Memento colors look like? Right? What about your, what are these? Oh, watercolor, your Tombow watercolor markers. So full, then they added some water, and then they lightened it up. I did them here. So this is a watercolor marker, a Tombow marker, straight color, then a little bit of water, and then a little bit of more water. All the same marker, but look at the variance you get. And it will change depending upon what kind of surface you use. And right now, all you're playing with is ink you probably already own, a stamp, a new stamp. Of course, I like the sayings too. And your time. And if you've invested in this product, you should have the time to see what you actually can do with it. It might inspire you to pull out things that you haven't thought about for a long time. It might encourage you to try to put it on vellum and see what happens. See what happens. All you can do is try, and all it can do is not work. And then what's the harm in that? You spent a few minutes of your time stamping, embossing, and then putting your color on, only to find out that it is the most amazing thing you have ever done, ever, and you don't know why you didn't do it sooner, or that it didn't work at all and you don't need to go back and try again. You even keep the mistake, and write down what you did so that you know it doesn't work. Anytime you have a tool that is so simple to use, yet so effective and gives you so much information, I think it is absolutely worth it. Okay, holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, so the sample, so we have the flash sale from Stampendous because a lot of our samples were made using these stamps. So I said, Peggy, oh my goodness, what's the best price we can do on these? Because the girls were using these to make samples. And Peggy put together an amazing price. I mean, amazing. I want to say it's $34.99. They retail for $14.99 each, $15 each. So that's 30, 60, 90, and then the mat or the block is $7.99. So $98 right here for $34.99. Holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, if you already have this one, give it to your friend. Really, if you've already got one of these, just give it to you. Give them the block and the stamp as a lovely little, oh, I love having you as my friend gift. Do not pass up on the deal. But if there really is only one of them that you like, or you need the block, we are selling them open stock too. Then we have now again, the reason I brought these in is because the girls there was the other ones. I know they're here somewhere. The girls made samples with these. So because we had so many samples with them, I brought the stamps in. So we've got these are also Inky Antics. And you're going to see samples made with these. The girls had so much fun using these and the backgrounds and all the different mediums. So these are just open stock on sale, 20% off. And then we have the I Want It All bundle, which is actually the 3 sets of sentiments, which are hilarious, along with the swatch. Or you can just buy the swatch, up to you. Or you don't have to get any of it. Whichever makes your heart happy. But if it encourages you to pull out your things, then that also makes me happy. I've got the watercolor paper, the lesser expensive brand to do all of this with. They're postcards, but you get 2 stamps per, and there's 25 sheets, 30 sheets. So you could make 60 swatches with this. That's kind of nice on the watercolor paper. And then of course I've got all 6 sets from Michael's, Tombow, I don't know wherever they came from, whatever. All I know is that we got them at a smoking hot deal, and if that's how we got them because Michael's didn't want them, I am not a proud woman. I am happy to take whatever they didn't want at a phenomenal price. I have 100 of each left. That's all that Tombow had left for me to buy. Okay, so let's do, am I missing anything else? My vellum, well, my vellum is super heavyweight. It's really heavyweight. It's parchment vellum. And I'll be using this vellum in, I think, March. I have a YouTube with it in March. And then of course watercolor pencils, and I've got the FineTec on sale. Ooh, pretty. Yeah. Ooh, really pretty. And then I have a new one. Doesn't look anything like this. I think it's called Fairy Dust, and it's just 6 colors. And wait till you see what they do. Oh, don't know when they're coming yet, so they're not booked in for a YouTube. I had to order them. Okay, so let's do samples. And like I said, we did everything from the colored pencils and Gamsol, and made swatch books, to the Memento, and we put them in color families, to oxides, where we dropped little droplets on it. So dark and light and big droplets and small droplets. And we just drew the line. We just drew the line. And we did, what are these? Oh, these are the ombres. So those 3 colors came in one ombre, and those 3 colors come in one ombre. So you can see what colors you're actually getting. And we did the FineTec, which was so pretty. That's the one that has one color and then another color. So pretty. And we just put little holes in them and made our own little swatch books. And we did, wow, they did a lot. The Tombow markers I already showed you. These they just put straight to the paper, watercolor paper, then a little bit of water, and then a little bit of more water, whereas I took them and literally ombre'd them out here. And then the last one we have, oh, watercolor pencils. Okay, so oodles of swatch books. Now let me show you the pretty samples. Ooh, the pretty samples. Okay, so I showed you this one already. And Queen of the Glitter People. Gotta love that, right? So these were done with the background. See, this is the clock background, and the little girl clock background is part of Stampendous. Little girl is Inky Antics. And then you've got Genius Squared and Brilliant at Birth. That's part of the sentiment. Open. Oh, you're remarkable, lovely, extraordinary, and smart enough to take over the world. Now that's a great card to give to somebody, right? And it used all the things we played with today, all the different inks we played with today. Now here, look at this. This is using the swatch cards for your glitter. Look at how cute is that? And here we've got the background. Remember that grungy background? Ooh, let me see. It was a grungy one. Not the, oh, this one. So this background here was done with that background there. I know, looks totally different, right? Totally cool here. You're like, meh, there, but here, wahoo kachoo. And then Tim Holtz Ranger swatch card. And then this, the background was done with the Stampendous, with one of the 6x6 flash sales. And here's Ranger Mermaid Lagoon. The colors remind me of Nightmare Before Christmas. And then here, again, the background with that grungy one. That grungy one's very cool. And here's one of the little girls. And if you need me, I'm here for you. And then it has all the things from with a with a dartboard and his picture, with confetti and my happy dance, with a credit card and no judgment, with orange juice and extra soft tissues, with super cute shoes you can borrow, with a game plan and a getaway car, and all of the above. And that's the one that's checked. Isn't that darling? And then look at this one. Again, this one was done with that beautiful grungy background. Woo. And a Stampendous stamp. Here, this was done with the map background that did the Paris one. And look at a swatch card with your Tim Holtz on there. And then beautiful with the clocks. How beautiful is that with the clocks? So once those Stampendous stamps are gone, they are gone. They're not coming back. So we only have what we have, and then that's it for them. Again, that's done with that beautiful medallion or mandalay. How do you pronounce it? It's beautiful. I love the background. And then one of the little girls. Go on with your big, bad, beautiful self. Show this world what you've got. One smart cookie and knower of all things. This soul runs on paint. And look, if you want to be super quick about it, Memento Dewdrop. Pear tart. Look at that, the cutest card made with that. That's just darling. I am happy to be the crazy art lady. And here with that grungy background. And with the map background. And again, Paris was fussy cut. And crafty ninja with the clock background. Ooh, look at this card. Ooh. That's very cool. And then Washi Whisperer. And then this is all done with washi tape. How cute is that? Claire, did you do this one? This one's so cute with all the washi tape. Oh, and this one's beautiful. This is with one of the 6x6 stamps from Stampendous on the Flash Sale. Look at how gorgeous is that. That's beautiful. Did I do this one? Did I do that one? Look how cute he is. I don't know if I did him. He's darling if I did. Sorry, but he's so cute. I had to do him again. And the background. You have two backgrounds. One here and one here of the 6x6. All right, I'm going to tilt up. I'm going to say, how can you spend 2 hours on swatches? I don't know. I just did. It's amazing. But we had fun, right? And hopefully you learned that with just a little bit of paper, pull out your old stuff. If anything else, if that's all you get is that one stamp, get the stamp and make your swatch books, because when it comes to creating, once they're done, your life will be so much easier. You'll be able to just go through and pick the color or the finish that you're looking for, and poof, no guessing. Love the stamp. And if you like the sentiments, then get the I Want It All, because the sentiments are just darling. Just love them. So it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Please remember, this YouTube is going to ship within 30 days. We're gonna have one team continue to get caught up and one team start fresh. So when this team is all caught up, then everybody is, then we're back to being hopefully as normal can be right now. So if there's anything you like here, just remember, if you're doing a pay later, that pay later is going to come a whole lot sooner than what you're used to right now. So I would think sometime next week that pay later is going to land in your inbox, that invoice. So keep that in mind, and then we will continue to get caught up on the past YouTubes so that we bring ourselves current as quickly as possible. And if you placed an order during the warehouse sale for all of those 75-cent dies and $1 dies and $1.50 dies, and you did a pay later, and you were first day, first hour, stay tuned. We're going to do them 200 at a time, and we're going to start sending pay later invoices out. If you've already paid for your order, you have nothing more to do. Just as soon as we get that last shipment in from Ellison, we'll get it unpacked and we will get going, and I will make that announcement. Curbside delivery is available for everything shown in this YouTube. That is part of the YouTube Yummies category. Look there. If it's in the YouTube Yummies category, it's available for curbside as long as we still have it in stock. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I will see you all next week. Happy New Year to you. Bye.